Okay, in last lecture we have discussed IIR filter specifications, and we have seen to design an IIR filter we have to start with a prototype filter. So we'll start with first family of analog filters called Butterworth filters. Analog Butterworth filter. Magnitude squared response of nth order Butterworth filter for low pass filter is given as HA omega square 1 over 1 plus omega over omega c to the power 2n, and sometimes written as 1 over 1 plus omega over omega c square to the power n, where omega c is the 3 dB cutoff frequency. Now HA omega square at omega is equal to 0 will be equal to 1 over 1 plus 0 will be equal to 1. That's mean this will allow low frequencies to be passed, and if you put HA omega square at omega is equal to omega c, it will be 1 over 1 plus 1 equals to 1 by 2. And finally, if you put HA omega square and find out the value at omega is equal to infinity, it will be 1 over infinity, which will be equal to 0. That's mean this filter will stop high frequencies. There are two things to be noted about Butterworth filter. First one is Butterworth filter does not have any ripples. Second point is magnitude squared response HA omega square is maximally flat at omega is equal to 0, as we have seen that at omega is equal to 0 HA omega square is equal to 1. So then we can draw the response of the Butterworth filter, where we can obtain a response with the varying values of n. For n equals to 1, for a very low order, frequency response will look like this. For this, n equals to 1, and this one for n equals to 2, and this one for n equals to 100, and a sharp response is obtained for n equals to infinity. That means as we increase the order of n, the transition will be much more sharper, which can be seen from the Butterworth filter's magnitude response. From these characteristics, we can observe certain things which are, so we'll discuss those observations one by one. The first one is at omega is equal to 0, HA omega square equal to 1 for all n. That's mean we'll obtain the value of filter will be 1 irrespective of any value of n. Next is, as we'll make omega is equal to omega c, the response will be equal to 1 by 2. As we can see from this graph, every response for every value of n meet at this common point, which is at 0.5, that is 1 by 2, which indicates 3 dB attenuation. Next is HA omega square decreases monotonically as omega increases, as we have discussed previously and can be seen by this graph. As the value of omega increases, the response deteriorates. Next is HA omega square approaches ideality as n tends to infinity. We can see with this particular example, with this curve, as n tends to infinity, the transition is sharp, which is required for ideal filter. Now the next point is HA omega square is maximally flat at omega is equal to 0, as 2n minus 1 derivatives of HA omega square are 0 at omega is equal to 0. This comes from HA omega square is equal to 1 over 1 plus omega by omega c to the power 2n, and which will hold this value of omega till we differentiate this complete term for 2n minus 1. After this, so we are starting with the point determination of stability and causality. We know HAS into HA minus S is equal to mod H omega square, or omega is equal to S by J. Then we can substitute S is equal to J omega, and if we square, we will get S square is equal to minus of omega square. That's mean mod of H omega square for omega is equal to S by J can be written as HAS with HA minus S will be equal to 1 over 1 plus omega by omega c to the power 2n. And if you substitute the values, it will be 1 over 1 plus minus S square over omega c square to the power n. Then we can write this as omega c to the power 2n over omega c to the power 2n plus minus S square to the power n. Now poles of the HAS with HA minus S, that is omega c to the power 2n plus minus S square to the power n will be equal to 0. Now we want to find out the poles. So it will be minus S square to the power n will be equal to omega c to the power 2n with a negative sign. So it will be minus 1 to the power n S 2n equals to minus omega c to the power 2n. Now after this, we can modify this equation slightly by using Euler's identity. That is, if we substitute exponential j 2k plus 1 pi. Now where do we substitute this particular term? So we will just expand this term. So it will be cos 2k plus 1 pi plus j sin 2k plus 1 pi. Now for any value of k, if k is integer, sin 2k plus 1 pi will always be 0, and cos 2k plus 1 pi will always be minus 1. So that is exponential j 2k plus 1 pi will be equal to minus 1 for any integer value of k. Now what should be the values of k? We know the order is right now going in this equation is 2n. So k will vary from 0, 1, 2 up to 2n minus 1. That means it will have total of 2n terms starting from 0 up to 2n minus 1. So if we substitute this exponential 2k plus 1 pi equals to minus 1 instead of this negative sign, it will give an equation which will be look like minus 1 to the power n s to the power 2n exponential j 2k plus 1 pi omega c to the power 2n. Now this equation which we have obtained has another dependency, that's about the order of the filter. If this n is even or odd, this equation will lead to different poles. So we'll discuss two cases. Case 1, that is n is even. If n is even, then this equation will be s to the power 2n equals to exponential j 2k plus 1 pi omega c to the power 2n. Then we can find out s as exponential j 2k plus 1 pi by 2n omega c. So if we can rearrange this equation, it will give omega c exponential j pi by 2n plus k by 2n. Okay. So we have total of 2n minus 1 poles. So pk will be equal to omega c exponential j pi by 2n plus k over 2n, where k equals to 0, 1, 2 up to 2n minus 1. Now case 2. Case 2 is when n is odd, then we'll have minus 1 to the power n s2n equals to exponential j2 k plus 1 pi omega c to the power 2n will be minus s to the power 2n equals to exponential j 2k plus 1 pi omega c to the power 2n. This negative sign can be replaced as exponential j pi. As for cos pi, the value is minus 1. Then s to the power 2n equals to exponential j 2k pi into exponential j pi omega c to the power 2n. This exponential j pi and this exponential j pi cancelled out. So we get s equals to omega c exponential j k pi by n. There should be pi at this point. So s is equal to omega c exponential j k pi by n, where k is equal to 0, 1, 2 up to 2n minus 1. So we can write this as pk equals to omega c exponential j k pi by n. So there are 2n poles in odd case and also 2n poles in even case. So for a Butterworth filter, we'll have total of 2n poles. Now from these poles, we'll provide some observations over a Butterworth filter. Those are, so the observations are, first, there are 2n poles which we have already seen for HAS multiplied with HA minus S, which are equally distributed on a circle of radius omega c with an angular spacing of pi by n. Now poles are symmetrically located with respect to j omega axis. This is the second observation. Third one is poles never falls on an imaginary axis, and it will fall on real axis only when n is odd. If n is not odd and n is even, then it will neither fall in real axis or nor in imaginary axis. Now we have find out the poles of HAS multiplied with HA minus S. Next step is we have to assign the poles of HAS with HA minus S to HAS. Then we can write HAS equals to omega c to the power n over these are poles, and all poles should lie at the left hand pole. So we'll write LHP poles S minus Pk. This is said to be ensure H omega at omega is equal to 0 should equals to 1, and it is a normalized low pass filter where omega c is equal to 1 radians per sample. Now with this we can write poles Pk of HAS as Pk will be equal to omega c exponential j pi k by n plus pi by 2n for even n, omega c exponential j pi k by n for odd n. That's all for this lecture. We'll determine filter coefficients and we'll see the designing procedure of Butterworth filter in next lecture. Thank you.